Hello everyone and welcome to SkillCapped. I'm Notorious Dub and today I'm going to be going over some of my most asked questions of what you should be doing on defense. So to answer that question, I've went through tons of pro gameplay and the games from the recent Twitch Rivals event to cover everything from the most common standard ways of playing defense on each map, when and how to rotate, what parts of the map you should be contesting, and more. Before we get into that though, make sure you hit that subscribe button with bells on because we have a ton more premium guides coming your way, so make sure you stay up to date and stay ahead of the pack. Now first things first, we have to talk about split. And with the new changes to mid, we're seeing even more of an emphasis on mid control and teams rotating very quickly because of the small map size. Before we get into the details, let's take a look at the basic setup that Hiko's team is using here. We have a standard setup that most people are running on split, with one person playing B site, receiving support from his teammate playing mid or heaven if needed, then a duelist playing rope room / mid to stop aggression and look for mid control. Then we have one person playing hard site control on A, and then one person, being Hiko here, playing a fast rotator and support role by heaven or A ramps. Now the reason this round is so masterful by Hiko is because he does what he does best. He reads the map perfectly. We see Hiko sit in heaven looking at the minimap for the first large portion of this round, which emphasizes just how important the minimap should be to you on defender side, because no battle plan survives contact with the enemy. So even if your team is set up perfectly, being adaptable is key. Now Hiko's entire job here is to rotate to the most effective place for him to be, and looking back at the minimap, his Jet rotated to cover A, and his Reyna is pushing aggressively, leaving B and mid wide open. This prompts Hiko to fill in the gap for his team, and developing this skill is easily going to win you rounds because this is the type of game sense that makes the enemy team say, "Why is he even there?" in frustration. It's also important to notice that Hiko is making sure to control heaven no matter where he goes, because heaven is easily the most dominant position on this map, and the person who controls heaven controls the round. The fact that Hiko is able to control heaven so effectively allows him to force the enemies into 3 bad 1v1s and allows him to clutch the round. So the most important things to take away from split defending is to control heaven if at all possible, rotate quickly because it's a small map that you can manipulate, and read that mini-map because you have to make those split second decisions on this small congested map to win those difficult rounds. Alright, next up we have TenZ playing the most important position on Ascent, mid control. Now this is a very standard setup, and it's honestly the one that we're seeing from almost all top tier teams at the moment, is this 2-2-1 setup on Ascent, which allows the Cypher and the Sage to lock down the 2 different bomb sites because they're so effective at shutting down a funnel, and their 2 supports are playing for mid control as well. We have Reyna and Jet looking for hard control of mid, while the Sova plays a support position to gather information as well. Now mid control in Ascent is so vital because it allows the attackers so many more options for attacking sites, and without mid control, the attackers are forced into very harsh funnels into either site with seemingly endless angles to check if they're actually going to take that site successfully. So with good aim, arches on mid is a vital area to control from. Now here we see the person catwalk taking most of the early engage with the operator, and when they aren't expecting the peeks from arches, TenZ takes advantage of the most valuable tool he has as a defender, unpredictability. Because peeking the same angle the same way every round is an easy way to lose your aim battle and lose those rounds. Now we see TenZ and his teammate routinely swap their roles, allowing the person catwalk to play aggressive or arches to play aggressive, keeping the enemies off guard when going for mid control. Now because of this, TenZ gets a couple of crucial picks for the round because the enemy is forcing mid control way too heavily. And because of the over aggression, TenZ catches the enemy off guard and hits his shots. From there, the round is pretty easy to clean up, but another really cool thing to notice is that once TenZ gets those 2 picks, he smokes off the 2 entry points to allow him and his teammates to push up into mid for that extra control, and to reposition from the angles that the enemy expects them to be in. So keep in mind, when playing for a crucial point of the map that is routinely contested like mid on Ascent, make sure to swap up your peeks, coordinate with your teammates, and don't be afraid to take those aggressive peeks, because a pick as a defender can immediately win you an easy round. Also, another really cool strategy for Ascent revolves around Sova. Pro teams are routinely going for Sova on Ascent so much more than other maps because nearly every wall can be shot through. And with the amount of visibility that Sova can get through walls with his recon dart and recon drone, allows teams to get easy picks like the ones that I'm showing now to give the defenders huge advantage on pushing enemies. So if you happen to be a Sova player, Ascent just might be your time to shine. Next up, we have defense on Bind coming from Team Mixwell. This is the team that won their division of Twitch Rivals on EU. In this round, we see Team Mixwell doing the standard setup of 3A, 2B. And the reason this works so well is that they have both of their hard sight controllers in Sage and Cypher playing on B, making it very difficult for the enemy team to push even though it's a 2-man sight hold, allowing them to stack A site with 3 people, relying on their Viper one-way and dueling ability. We see something so important here, where Brimstone throws out his molly and Viper pops her one-way to delay the enemy team from getting on site, allowing his rotating Cypher to actually get on site before they do. This is something that separates the great teams from the good teams, which is delaying the push and rotating fast and effectively. The reason this is such a safe play is that their Sage took the information that the enemy was prepping to push A and pushed aggressively. This makes sure that even if the enemy decided to rotate away expecting that stack, they would run into an unknown enemy. This is such a textbook round because once they rotated so fast and effectively, the attackers were trapped into that bad position and they were forced to try to fight their way out of it, and we see the round go bad extremely fast. As a defender, we all need to realize that it's not up to us to make an incredible play. It's up to the attackers to make a play on you. So delay that push as long as possible to allow your team to get into effective spots and hold your ground. Because once your team gets in a position to support each other like this, the round becomes near impossible for the attackers. Alright, next up we have another clip from Team Mixwell, and they're playing Haven on defense. And this is what's interesting about this map, is that the meta is actually shifting on defense and pro teams are going towards the style of defense like we're about to see. Now Haven is the biggest map in Valorant, and the traditional setup would be 1 person A peeking long aggressively for information, 2 people B looking for mid control and fast rotation due to callouts, 1 person garage to stop the rush, and 1 person C to stop the push from long. But this EU super team has a different strategy in mind, and we're seeing people follow suit. Now instead, they opt for a very aggressive double peeks on both A and C, leaving B wide open because it's the easiest one to retake. Now once they notice that no one peeks on C or A, and the only other option for the enemies is to be working B, because like we said earlier, it's up to the attackers to make the play. So the lack of information that you get means that they have to be giving information to someone else. With aggressive defenses like this, you have to rotate fast. And 6 seconds into the round, we see ScreaM bolting for B site because he has to be there to support the rotating Reyna. And because of this extremely aggressive peek and fast rotate, ScreaM is able to catch the entire enemy team off guard because no one expects a rotation that fast. Now let's be honest, ScreaM is in a league of his own when it comes to his aim, but we see so many pro teams developing this playstyle because Haven is such a difficult map to defend with the 3 bomb sites that it's almost a necessity to make plays like this to keep the enemy guessing and gather enough information to have a chance on defense. Another great example of this emerging strategy that pro teams are developing comes from Team Duno, the champions of their division during Twitch Rivals as well. Now here we see a 1-1-3 split, and we're seeing them routinely opt to leave B unattended because it's the easiest site to retake with all of the crossfire opportunity, while allowing their 2 most powerful controllers, Cypher and Sage, to play solo and hold down Garage and A site, and then they have 3 different agents pushing C long. Now here, Team Duno is able to push so aggressively and get so much information on the map this early in the round that they are able to fast rotate and go for a site stack on the only available site that the enemies could be pushing, A. Now they realize that a huge push like this is a bit much for a Cypher to handle solo, and because of their fast rotation, they're able to back him up with 2 more teammates before the attackers ever even touch the site. Now this is such an incredible round because the attackers seem to have no idea what to do because no one expects that 3-man stack. And the only way to be able to stack a site safely like this is to push aggressively and go for that deep information to allow your team to rotate and stack a site, giving you a huge advantage on defender side. But remember, it's not your job to make a play whenever you're going for that information. Just get the information and then play accordingly. Don't press your luck and go for the 1v1 and then end up losing it and lose all control that you had on the map. So ultimately, the biggest takeaways from all of this is to take control of the map as much as possible by playing with your teammates. Gather information and use it to rotate quickly and efficiently, and cut off the enemy's rotation safely so you can maintain that pressure. Because you can set up perfectly on defense, but if you don't play it correctly, it's not going to mean that much. But most importantly, don't get greedy. It's up to the attackers to make the big plays, not you. With all of this being said though, we hope we've helped you learn something about defending in Valorant, and if so, let us know in the comments below, as well as what you want to see from us next. We here at SkillCapped want to thank you for watching the video and spending this little bit of your day with us. We have a ton more comprehensive premium guides coming your way, So be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can keep improving and climbing to the top of that scoreboard. We here at SkillCapped want to thank you for watching, and good luck in your games. I'm Notorious Dub, signing off.